Can you believe it's already segment 9? Wow, time does go by fast. You are building your foundation, changing habits, routines, and developing healthier eating habits, one step at a time. And it always amazes me how these little steps can make a big difference. If you don't buy that bag of chips, it won't be tempting. If you put that bag of chips that maybe you did buy higher in a cabinet, it's harder to get to and it's out of your eyesight. What about my client who actually changed the furniture in her home so that it was different when she walked in there, and she didn't grab that bag of chips anymore and sat down in the same chair that she did day after day? She made a change in her habit that worked. So after last segment, my daughter tried the kefir and she liked it. It's fun to try something new. As long as you're not forcing yourself to eat it if you don't like it, but trying something new can be fun. Let's do the check-in. I hope you had a really good week. Today's handouts are dump, dunk, or dip, and the meal makeover. Those two things we're going to talk about today, as well as how do we make smaller portions and physical activity. So what does dump, dunk, or dip mean? Well, it's a really neat way of saving some calories. So for instance, if you were to go to a restaurant and ask for the salad dressing on the side, and you dump all of it on your salad, you really haven't saved any calories. If you dunk that cherry tomato into that salad dressing, you probably haven't saved any calories either. But if you dip your fork in the salad dressing and then your salad, you're going to save a lot of calories and enjoy it just as much. And the first time I tried that, it was with lobster. And I did that. I dipped my fork in the butter and then the lobster. And it was absolutely delicious. And when I was through, I looked over and I was really surprised at how much butter was left. I didn't miss any of the flavor, but I saved a lot of calories. What else can you do that with? Well, you can do it with gravy and syrup. So think about dump, dunk, or dip. What is meal makeover? Well, meal makeover is taking something that isn't probably the healthiest food choice for us and making it a little bit healthier. So for instance, if you know you're going over to a friend's house for pizza, what about offering to bring a big salad? Now you can fill half your plate with the salad and still have the pizza, but you probably will eat less pizza. So what about smaller portions? Using smaller plates, smaller bowls, smaller utensils can be a really great way of getting smaller portions without missing anything. So a physician once said, if exercise could be prescribed as a medication, it would be the most widely prescribed medication in the world. Physical activity is really, really good for us, but I think it's important that each person develop their routine on their own terms. So in 1986, after many failed attempts at establishing an exercise routine, I decided to do it differently. So I joined an exercise class that only met once a week for 8 weeks. And after those 8 weeks, I joined a class that met twice a week, and that worked great. And then I decided to ease myself into running. And so for the past, I'm not going to count how many years it's been, I've been walking, running, paddling, snowshoeing, biking, and enjoying it on my terms. And I know that I have been successful because I started really small. Take a small step in the right direction and you can build on that. So I'm also trying to do some stretching and some strength training, but it takes time to develop the physical activity habit. Take a moment and think about how you could increase your physical activity. What about walking around the perimeter of the grocery store a few times? How about going upstairs when you only need one item? What about walking around when you're on your phone at home? How about taking one exercise class a week or going for a hike? Think about how can you increase your physical activity slowly one step at a time. Make it a great week, and why don't you try the dip instead of the dunk or dump? And contact me if you have any questions.